Hi Gemini, welcome to this reading. You might find this resonates more if Gemini is your sun or rising sign. So let's have a look and see the messages that Spirit would like you to know at this time. What's going on right now? Whoa, the Devil in the reverse. Capricorn energy there. It's interesting how it flipped itself back over, but I will take it as it definitely showed itself to us. I wonder if there is something the Divine Feminine is moving away from and at this point feels they've snapped out of and don't even want to address, whether it's something in their own behaviour, whether it's something going on in their mental realm, their feelings, engaging in something to do directly with their masculine, but it's like, I'm done. That journey, that part of the journey is over for me. Not interested. To the point I don't even want to hear about it in this reading, and yet there you are, Amelia, talking about it. Shut up. Oh, let's see. Yeah, High Priestess. It's like, shh, don't want to talk about it, don't want to know about it. I'm sorry, I'm just the channel. Spirit wants to talk about it. We've got Pisces energy here as well. Oh my goodness. Three of Swords and Judgment reversed. Scorpio. Okay. Well, it seems to me, yeah, the collective, if this is resonating with you and you're watching as a Divine Feminine right now, there's something that you, as far as you're concerned, you're done with it, you've released it, you've moved past it, you've done your healing, and yet Spirit is saying, but Judgment's still reversed, the Three of Swords is still upright, so I think that's why it's coming up. I wonder if there's something you're not seeing, something around how this relates to you, but I don't know if there's someone else involved, you know, aside from your twin. Let's just see. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man, more Pisces, but we have 4 out of 5 of these cards are major arcana, so this feels big. And it feels like, you know, your guides and spirits working very much with you. Yeah, look, we've got the Lovers, Gemini, Twin Flame card as well, of course. This can also talk about making a big choice, a big life-changing decision. 8 of Wands. Okay, 2 of Swords. Okay, I see what's going on here. I feel if this is resonating with you, you recently have made a decision and Spirit is asking you, is your decision motivated by a desire to get away from something or to get towards something? So, okay, I think psychologically speaking, I haven't really looked into this, but I have heard that we make our decisions based on pain, which of the 2 options, for example, or more, is going to cause the least pain. But what we assume we're doing is choosing the better option. This one is going to bring more joy or more abundance. If we take money, for example, I'm choosing this job because it pays more, that will make me happier. No, it will help you to escape the pain of not being able to buy food or pay your bills. Do you see what I mean? So that's actually, I think, what's going on a deeper level when we make decisions, psychologically speaking. But Spirit is here saying, almost saying to you, is this what you're doing? But you think you're making a decision because you're moving towards something better, but you're actually moving away from something that causes more pain than the alternative, which is fine. That's a good thing to do. But Spirit's bringing this up for a reason. I wonder, because look, this is what I see. Moving forward very quickly. Oh, hold on, look, I thought about it, making a decision. I've decided I'm moving forward. 8 of Wands, I'm moving forward very quickly. And then bam, we get a blockage, 2 of Swords, because we thought we made a decision, but when the Lovers is upright, for me, that decision, those choices are still options. We've not really confirmed it. We're moving forward with the 3 of Swords, with this confusion or this pain, and Judgment is reversed. We're not as convinced as we thought we were. I think what Spirit's saying is what Spirit doesn't want to happen is for you to charge forward in one direction and be like, you know what? I didn't see this coming up, or I didn't anticipate feeling this way, or I'm actually not happy. I just really needed a break from that other thing. So as an example, let's say you're saying, right, I really need to distance myself from my divine masculine. It's too much right now. I think I'll date that person over there. They seem nice. And it's going very well for a while. And then suddenly you're hit with, this doesn't feel right. We're not connecting. I miss my masculine. That's what Spirit's trying to avoid and say, it might be that, yes, you need a break and you deserve a break or whatever it is. Just in my example, it's a timeout. Have that, but it doesn't mean you have to move in, you know, towards something else. So it doesn't have to be that exact example. It could be anything. It doesn't even have to just be something romantic. But there's a decision that's being made, I think, as a reaction to get away from something that has been heavy, restrictive, very serious. You know, it's probably impacted your life in many areas, not just this connection. So I get why you're wanting to step away, so does Spirit, but it's like, well, I think we need a moment more to really analyze this and assess this, because you might initially feel like, yeah, Eight of Wands, this is empowered, this is exciting, but we're not turning towards the fact that we still have this disempowering Three of Swords pain that we're carrying with us. Okay, let's see. At least the Two of Swords again, Two of Pentacles, Three of Wands reverse. So it could just be this has been going on for long enough. It's not manifesting. I'm not getting the action that I want to see. My Divine Masculine has options and they're not choosing me. The fact that I even feel like I'm an option is not good enough. Yeah, Eight of Cups. I'm done. I'm walking away. This is ridiculous. Really interesting actually that I'm using this deck, because in this Eight of Cups, look at the size of the mountain that we have to climb over to get to something, you know, a better situation. And it's almost like Spirit saying, you might decide, right, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to jump as high as I can, grab onto the rock and start scaling my way up. And then you got halfway and obviously you didn't pack well, you've not got the tools you need, you're exhausted, you didn't factor in that it's actually higher than it looked from a distance. It's not Spirit saying you shouldn't make the climb, but do we need to prepare more? Do we need to really know our reason? And it needs to be a reason more than, I'm just not happy here because it's such a high mountain. It's got to be, I'm not happy here, plus I can really clearly see where I'm going. I've got that crystal clear focus and intention. You know, if you're doing something, if you're studying something or practicing something, there will be times where you're not having the most fun, or you come up against an obstacle, and if you don't have your really strong reason for succeeding, it might be enough to make you stop. So Spirit's saying, okay, well, let's just pause for a second and really think about why we're doing this, and then set off on the journey, or make whichever amendments we might want to. So some of you might be watching this thinking, as an example, again, love my examples, this is the last twin flame reading I'm ever watching, I'm done with my Divine Masculine, I'm moving on. Fine, okay, you know, great, good for you. That's you know, more than entitled to feel that way and do that. But what Spirit is saying is, because of this intense connection, it might not be a straightforward linear path, it might not be the easiest thing, so we really have to know where we're going, why we want to get there, why we need to get there, how it's going to be better to keep our motivation up, especially if it's a situation where in the past you've tried to walk away, you couldn't, you've tried to move on, you couldn't, you've tried to distract yourself, you couldn't, or whatever, you know? Because that's just demoralizing. And I'm not talking about twin flames, I'm talking about anything, you know, if you decide you're going to try and have a healthier diet, or start a new habit. Every day I'm going to wake up and do such and such for an hour before I start my day, or just wake up earlier, and we keep trying and feeling like we're failing. That's not the way. That is so demoralizing. Whereas actually it might just be that it wasn't the right timing, or we bit off more than we could chew initially, or the circumstances weren't right. It's not necessarily a reflection of us that we can't do it. But I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. So anyway, Three of Swords and the Eight of Wands. Four of Swords. It's almost like I'm hearing a beat, a pause. So I don't know if there's a musical reference or a dance connection here for someone, but it's almost like just give it one more moment. Just give it one more. Just give yourself that extra moment to pause, to breathe. Like let one more beat pass. To give yourself time to reflect or to rest or whatever it is. And you can see this lamb's third eye is lit up. It has some kind of inspiration. So you might feel that you know everything to make this decision, or you're convinced, because the Hanged Man usually has, you know, hung around and thought about it, pondered, observed. But there's still something more to discover. Yeah, look at that, Six of Swords. Okay, so essentially, whatever decision is being made here, as I said right at the start, whether it's I'm changing this habit, behavior, mindset, whatever it is, I see you will stick with that because that's what you've decided, and no one should be talking you out of that, you know? But the message from Spirit is, maybe just slow ever so slightly, or give yourself that extra moment to pause and reflect or double check. Because what might happen if you rush forward now is you sort of, like a boomerang, come back around to this position because there wasn't full preparation first. Whereas if you just give yourself that moment, a very brief moment, you'll have some kind of realization, or maybe it's a moment to just confirm with yourself, yes, this is exactly what I want, and I see you moving forward successfully. Six of Swords. And interesting, all of this black here almost mirrors the mountain, but you know, you'd have to climb up it now. You can get in your boat and sail maybe even around it or something. So it just feels like an easier transition, an easier journey. So if you do feel like you're sort of whipping yourself on your back to drive yourself forward, that's not the way. You will still move forward. You will get to the place you want, but maybe it's just about the last piece of information slotting into place, or seeing something differently, or something around timing. Yeah, but there's something here I'm seeing the Divine Feminine Collective is not happy with. They've made a decision, they're moving forward, and that's being supported by the Divine, but it's almost like the Divine is saying, we want this to be a smoother journey for you. If it feels difficult, how you get around that difficulty is by pausing, being still, being kind to yourself, resting, not, you know, as I said, whipping yourself until you get up and you keep moving forward. Okay, so let's see, what would the Divine Feminine say to the Divine Masculine? I had put you on a pedestal and made myself small. Okay, so taking back some power. I'll just take the one at the top. My answer will be I do. Okay. Messages from the feminine to the masculine, please. I loved you more than I loved myself. Then I realized I didn't love myself. So that's kind of going with the putting you on a pedestal message there. I feel so alone. Why did you abandon me? Yeah, I mean, if the Divine Feminine is feeling like, you know, this, obviously my answer will be I do. It makes us think of marriage, typically. If the feminine is feeling that way and thinking about that level of commitment, but in the 3D, in the physical reality, seeing that the masculine maybe even chose something else, or chose someone else, or just tried to disengage from the connection, that's very hurtful, that's very painful, that's very isolating. And I can see why maybe the feminine is saying, okay, I've got to change something here. And what's changing will be individual, but something's got to change. I cried all night, wondering why you weren't sleeping next to me. I don't feel threatened by the karmic anymore. They're just playing their role. Yeah, so for some feminines, there's a feeling of the masculine chose the karmic, or chose a new person who is being viewed as a karmic, who maybe even was brought in once this connection had already sort of got going in a 3D sense. Yeah, I wonder actually, for a lot of Divine Feminines watching, if the thing that's changing is how they view and feel about any third parties, and perhaps trying to minimize the role or the effect that the third parties are having on the feminine, you know, changing their thoughts around the situation, maybe even feeling like in the past they were perhaps giving their power away to any third parties, whether the karmic is, you know, romantic, or it could be parent, work, whatever, saying to themselves, you know what, the connection, regardless of what influences are going on right now, even if they're not ideal, the connection is still just between me and my Divine Masculine. We both know that. We know it energetically, we know it intuitively, we know it within, even if we're not speaking about it, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Could be that. Okay, so let's go into the Divine Masculine, and we'll do the same. How is the Divine Masculine experiencing things right now? And then we'll get messages from the masculine to the feminine as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the experience right now within this connection from the perspective of the Divine Masculine. Okay, so what's the perspective, please, of the Divine Masculine? How is the Divine Masculine feeling at this time? How interesting. The Two of Swords, but reversed. Wow, with the Six of Pentacles. Okay. Isn't that interesting? We finish with the Two of Swords upright for the feminine and begin with it reversed for the masculine. Okay. Queen of Cups. You know, Well, let me pull one more card, but I feel like the masculine is feeling perhaps happier, better about things than the feminine right now. We've got the Queen of Cups on top of the Divine Feminine's Three of Swords. You know, both can talk about the heart space. Queen of Cups is definitely a nicer energy to be in than the Three of Swords. Okay, let's see. King of Wands. Oh my goodness, and then we've got the Queen of Swords. Right, so for those of you, if you're watching as a feminine, and the message about the karmic resonated, it looks like your masculine is thinking about this. You know, Six of Pentacles can be giving to more than one person at once. We've got a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Swords, so two feminine energies, whether we're talking about women or men here. Okay. Same message really if you're watching as a divine masculine. I wonder if you're thinking about two strong feminine influences in your life, your divine feminine and somebody else. We've got the Hanged Man, Pisces. Yeah, really thinking about this balancing or this handing out to more than one person, or this sort of, I don't know, let's see. Eight of Pentacles reversed. It's starting to look more to me now like this Queen of Cups. Yes, I think there's an influence of this in terms of how the masculine is feeling very much in their heart space, feeling positively about the feminine, embracing those feelings in quiet reflection about them. But I also feel the Queen of Cups is how the masculine is viewing the feminine right now, whether they're a water sign or not, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's more like they're seeing the feminine as being consistent with their feelings, but not trying to necessarily force them on the masculine, being okay with just accepting, I have these feelings, fine, I'm confident enough within myself that I don't need to run after you with my cup and try and force it on you. It just is what it is, you know. Eight of Wands. Okay, so I feel like the masculine is inspired. The King of Wands is looking over at this Queen of Cups. So the masculine, how they're feeling within themselves right now is very much in love, very confident with this, feeling quite spicy, confident within themselves, wanting to take action, looking at the feminine. So the masculine could literally be watching the feminine, whether it's in person, online, through connections, that sort of thing, energetically tapping in and enjoying that experience right now. Really keen to connect, to take some action, but still sitting down nonetheless, still pondering. The other thing I'm seeing here from the masculine is really having a look at the situation they find themselves in, finally, with this Two of Swords reverse, facing fact and saying, this is difficult, this is kind of awkward to say the least. I'm trying to give equally to two feminine energies here, or straight up maybe two women, and I know who I want to be giving to, the one I'm looking at here. So what do I do about it? And it could be that the time, attention, effort, energy is split equally between two. It could be that this masculine is maybe giving more attention in a practical 3D realm to one energy, one person, versus giving emotionally and energetically or vibrationally to another. It could be that as well. But it's the feeling of, right, I see what I'm doing, I see what's going on here, I want to make a choice, what do I do about it? So let's have more of a look. Their first thought is, maybe I should just try and be alone for a minute, catch my breath, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Ooh, the Empress reverse, Divine Feminine, Taurus, Libra energy, can also be spouse, mother, a child, that sort of thing. Let's see. Yeah, Page of Pentacles reverse, because we've got these two together, and for me the Page of Pentacles specifically is the manifested child. I'm looking at this as, for some of you, if you're watching as a feminine, your masculine might have a karmic who they have a child with. If you're the masculine, this might ring true to you. Yeah, and feeling like perhaps that's a situation they'd like to separate from. To be honest, it feels as simple as that. I think we should go to this King of Wands and have more of a look at what's going on internally. Let me see. I mean, the Divine Masculines as well, for some watching, maybe you're looking at your Divine Feminine and seeing that they have a third party and feeling that I can't even finish thinking the sentence through. I've gone blank, which tells me that's probably not really the case, but started, so I feel like I should finish. Feeling like your divine feminine has a karmic and you're waiting to see if they choose you. But why do we have two feminine energies then, you know? Let's have a look at this King of Wands. Let's take all of these. Four of Cups, Knight of Cups reverse. So seeing that the divine feminine is a gift that they have not taken enough action towards. I do think there's a strong urge to have fun with the feminine, like go on a date, reconnect, have some nice conversations, you know, bring back the joy, enjoy each other's company, that sort of thing. Eight of Cups reverse. So I wonder if the masculine feels that they pulled back or walked away or emotionally withdrew, and feels that they want to come forward and connect. And look, we've got the Ace of Cups at the end. So this masculine, it looks to me, is feeling like there was a big fat missed opportunity here, whether they walked away or circumstances got in the way, and they're really focused on having this opportunity back with the divine feminine. Eight of Wands, possibly reaching out right now or considering reaching out. Let's see. The Star, Aquarius, hoping, stressing out. Nine of Swords, the Hermit reversed, Virgo, because they know they've got to come out of hermit mode. They know they've got to take action if, you know, they want to see action happening. This is very interesting because the message feels clear. It's like the masculine is saying, I want this new beginning with the feminine. If I'm in a third party relationship, I know I don't want the third party, I want the feminine. That's very clear. Also showing up as this action taking, inspired, confident King of Wands. Also understanding if we're to reconnect, I feel like it's probably me who needs to reach out or do something, but not doing it. I'm not seeing the action. I don't know if we're looking at like the moment before the masculine says, right, let me get off my throne and actually do something, but it's like all of this knowing, and I'm thinking, okay, right, we'll go on then, but I'm not seeing it. Why not? What's going on here? The Emperor reverse, the divine masculine. And look, with the way I placed it here, we've got the Empress and the Emperor and the Page in between. So maybe this is why there is a concern about the child or someone who's dependent upon them, or a situation that's dependent, like it could be a business or whatever it is, or work. It's like maybe that's the reason that they're not taking the obvious action, obvious as far as they're concerned. And I'm noticing with the Empress and the Emperor placed in this position, the Empress is looking across at the Emperor, who is looking away. So whoever this third person is, whoever this you're masculine, if you're feminine, or if you're the masculine watching, whoever you're, oh, I've really made that complicated. Right. Whoever this is that the masculine is connected to that's not the feminine, this person seems to be more interested in the masculine and more attached to the masculine than the masculine is to them, whether it's a karmic, a boss, a parent, a friend, whatever. So I think maybe that's why the divine masculine isn't taking this action towards the feminine, because there is something or someone that they're having to consider who seems to be needing them, like a child, a family member. Maybe they have, as I said, they've started some sort of business or project together, the masculine and this third party. And you know what's really interesting is, although we do have technically the card of the divine feminine and the divine masculine here, that's not how I'm reading it, and I don't feel it that way. But it's showing up, you know, we could look at it that way. And I wonder if in the past the divine masculine met this person and thought, you're the one, or you're my divine feminine, or something like that, or thought they could replace their divine feminine with this person and it would be fine, they wouldn't miss the divine feminine. But because all of these cards are reversed, it's like that situation got turned on its head and they realized that wasn't true, it wasn't the connection I thought it was or was going to be. I couldn't just use this situation to move on from my actual divine feminine. Okay, I do think the divine masculine is feeling quite empowered simply because they've finally taken off the blindfold and are looking at things, and it's like their fears aren't getting the better of them anymore. Even if what they're seeing is that it is a tricky situation, at least they can see it clearly, they've faced it, you know. Okay, so what would the Divine Masculine say to the Feminine, please? Messages from the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine. I'm hearing, I don't know, hearing, feeling, seeing. I'm seeing the Seven of Swords, and I'm getting the feeling maybe from feminines watching, and I'm hearing something about being sneaky. So I'm getting lots of things at once, but the message essentially is, yes, they might have someone else, they might be attached to something else, but why can't they still message me? It didn't stop them before. So I don't know if, for some of you, if you're the masculine watching, you might have contacted or spoken with or reached out or interacted with in some way your feminine whilst there was someone else around who would not have been happy with that, but you did it on the sly. Or if you're the feminine, you experienced that from your masculine and it was kept quiet. Well, I feel the masculine now is saying, I've evolved, I don't want to be doing that. No more Seven of Swords sneaky energy. If I'm communicating, I don't want it to be something that could come back and bite me or bite you. I don't want it to have to be hidden. So yeah, that's just something that came through. If I give in to you, you will have the power to break both my heart and mind. I can't survive that. Okay. The way we are so in sync scares the hell out of me. I'm terrified. Having, you know, now I've read these messages, if you look at how this King of Swords is looking at this Queen of Cups, he's pulling his head back. It's almost like he is a bit sort of cautious of her. And that might seem a bit crazy if you're watching as a feminine, because you might be saying, but my Divine Masculine is so confident and powerful and strong, but maybe they feel nervous around you. I feel that in many cases, though, this might have been a past energy that led, or one of the things that led to this masculine trying to maybe ignore the connection or replace it or something like that. I miss you so much that it still feels like there is a real pain in my chest. I won't show you that though. I heard something about the theatre. I don't know if there's a Divine Masculine who's connected with the one or involved with or enjoys the theatre or something like that. When I thought about how bad I hurt you, I literally cried. Oh my gosh, will you marry me? That's crazy, because for the feminine we have my answer will be I do. Wow. I have to improve myself and my life to feel worthy of you. I think they have been doing that. You know, that I don't want to be that sneaky person anymore or do any of that sneaky behaviour that you've seen. If you're the feminine, and if you're the masculine, you know I don't want to do that. I was taught that I had to earn love by pleasing people. Wow. So the masculine saying I haven't been living in the most authentic way. I've probably put my own desires on hold to fulfill other people's. Look, you make me so nervous. Exactly. Sometimes it's hard to breathe. Yeah. So, you know, the Divine Masculine might come across as this confident King of Wands, unshakable, knows, you know, how amazing they are. And yet when they're around their feminine or think of the feminine, they get incredibly nervous. And if you are the Divine Feminine, you may have felt like, well, my masculine is someone that when they want something, they go for it, and they're not going for me, so fine. I guess that tells me what I need to know, but actually I think the masculine is saying it's not quite that simple. And if you're a masculine watching, I've been seeing more of you popping up in the comments, which is great. Please, you know, if that rings true, let us know in the comments. Let us know your thoughts either way. Obviously feminines as well, of course, please do. So I will leave this here, but thank you so much for watching. I hope it resonated, and I will see you soon. Bye.